Watch and make sure he doesn't go anywhere, okay?
think we're just waiting on Mike and Walter. So shouldn't take too much longer, hopefully.
I saw Dr. Doswell yesterday. He said to tell everybody hi. I ran into him at the grocery store.
So, oh, nice.
It was nice to see him.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah. We joked I saw him about 6 months ago, right at the start of the pandemic, also at the grocery store, but it was a different grocery store. So we're like running into each other. So it's fun.
Unknown caller.
Forgot, Amanda, were you presenting today too, right? Okay.
It's like a Rosen circus here. So
Yep.
it'll be fun.
Actually, that was the only one states we have here. So, yeah, didn't have any others. So,
Are we all here?
I'm just waiting on Mike.
I have to say, I really enjoyed reading all about the Catholic history in Kansas City.
Yeah.
In relationship to Bishop Hogan and also St. John's Seminary. A lot of good history there.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, Brad, has Rockhurst High School ever been nominated for National Trust?
No, not that I know of. You're talking about the one on State Line?
Yeah, well, apparently from what I've been reading, Rockhurst High School was the first secondary education, Catholic secondary education in
Oh, yeah.
Kansas City. And St. John's was the second. So I
Yeah.
just wondered, since we're looking at St. John's, if Rockhurst had ever been nominated.
No. I said
Rockers was
real.
originally at the college campus, so the original building is not on State Line Road.
Okay.
It started over there on Truce.
Yeah.
So that would explain that, perhaps.
Yeah, I said the State Line one's more modern, so it would have been built after this one.
Okay. So this really has the big history. Thank you.
Mike should be on in a minute.
All right. Okay.
I think we have everybody here, so um, anytime you're ready, Mike.
Okay. Sorry. For some reason, I ended up on mute again. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Vice Chair Laughlin, are you conflicted on any of these accounts at all that we're about to hear?
Yeah, I have to recuse myself entirely, which is why we were needing to meet separately.
Okay. Perfect. So they're all things that you prepared.
I prepared 2 of them, but I worked closely on the others and my firm did, so.
Okay. All right, you guys. Well, forgive me for my tardiness. I had this in my calendar for tomorrow, and I see now from the email that I was dead wrong. So let's go ahead and start then. Are you ready, Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Good afternoon and welcome to this special hearing of the Historic Preservation Commission for the City of Kansas City, Missouri. On October 1st, 2020, my name is Mike Harden and I am the chair. I will be visible by video in one moment, but for now, audio and confirmation that my voice matches every other Zoom hearing we have done so far will have to verify my identity. I am joined today by fellow commissioners Amber Courtney, Sarah Legg, Vice Chair Amanda Laughlin with the note that she will be recusing herself. Let's go ahead and start by having a swearing in of city staff. Mr. Wolf, will you please raise your right hand and repeat the oath after me? Do you swear, sir, to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. Mr. Wolf, please, a reading of the docket.
So we have 4 nominations to be reviewed today. All were prepared by Resident Preservation. The first case is the Archbishop O'Hara School at 9001 James A. Reed Road. The second item is Oakwood Country Club at 9800 Grandview Road. Third item is St. John's Seminary at 2001 to 31 East 72nd Street. And the last one is the Hazel Incorporated Building at 1224 Admiral Boulevard. The applicants are present for all of these and staff is ready to proceed.
Fantastic. In that case, I would like to go ahead and call the National Register nomination concerning Archbishop O'Hara Catholic High School in Kansas City, Missouri. Mr. Wolf, are there, forgive me, it's been so long now in the era of COVID that we've done a National Register nomination. Are there exhibits we have to admit, or do we just have a staff report and then a presentation?
Really, it's just, as I said, basically reviewing the nomination. Basically, the applicant, Resident Preservation, Rachel Nugent, will be presenting this particular nomination. And Rachel, did you want me to bring up the nomination or did you want to present it from your side?
I have it open. I can do it, and that way I can.
Yeah,
Um,
you should be able to share your screen if you want to try that and see if it works okay.
Very good. That would be ideal. And then Ms. Roulette, just one question also, because again, I think it's been now, gosh, 7 or 8 months since we've had a National Register nomination. Do I need to swear in Ms. Nugent, right?
Yes, I think we typically do.
Ms. Nugent, Mr. Wolf, do you have a staff report to present, or should we move straight to swearing in the applicant?
Just move to swearing in the applicant. So,
And
All right, very good. Noting that there's no,
Chair
ma'am.
Harden, it's Ms. Consoy now.
oh, Consoy, excuse me.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Rachel.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, Miss, and is it Confloy or Consloy? How do you say it?
Consoy.
Okay,
Emphasis
Confloy. Ms.
on
Confloy,
first
will you
level.
please? Okay, fantastic. Noting that there is no staff report, we'll go ahead and skip that and skip questions, move straight to swearing in the nominator. Ms. Confloy, if you please raise your right hand for the oath and repeat after me. Do you, ma'am, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. The floor is yours, and we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. Let me. I do. That. Okay. Do you now see the presentation formally?
Yes.
We do.
Okay, great. Sorry, let me adjust. Okay. Thank you very much for letting us present today. Archbishop O'Hara High School at 9001 James A. Reed Road is locally significant under criterion C in the area of architecture as an excellent example of a modern era high school. Because the school was designed by Drake O'Meara Associates in 1965 as a high school for the Catholic Diocese of Kansas City, St. Joseph, criteria consideration A applies. However, the property still qualifies for the National Register because its significance is derived from architectural distinction rather than its association with religious doctrine. The period of significance is 1965, the year of construction. The property is located at the southeast edge of Kansas City and is surrounded by mid-20th century residential subdivisions. O'Hara High School is a sprawling one-story building that occupies a large piece of land. The property also includes a contributing parking lot on the right side. Constructed
I don't think you're actually sharing the advancing slides. I think you're sharing something else.
Okay.
Just, it doesn't seem to be advancing on our end.
All right. Well, then let me see about that.
Rachel, if you shared just the PowerPoint and then
There we
you
go.
entered yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. So let me, wait a minute. Okay. Did that go back?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the only slide you missed. So the map showing where it is in Kansas City. And then, so O'Hara High School is, it's the sprawling one-story building that occupies a large piece of land. It includes the contributing parking lot on the right side of the screen, which was constructed in conjunction with the school, and then a small non-contributing garage that was constructed outside the period of significance. A parish elementary school and church occupy the land to the north of the high school, but this is a separate parcel now. The building has 3 distinct areas serving different functions. So this is the plan of the whole school. Area A at the east half of the large, okay, there's the, what do we say, the, oh, sorry, hold on. Okay,
So this, it's then shifted. So this is the north block here. This is the north block, and then this is the south block. And then this is the east half of the larger north block. And this contains the main entrance and the specialty gathering spaces. So the main entrance here, the library, the commons, the auditorium, the chapel, and the gymnasium, locker rooms. And there's also some maintenance areas back in here. And this is Area C, and these designations were on the plans. This was how it was originally designated. Area C is the west half of the north block, and it contains these 4 double-loaded corridors lined with classrooms. And so that that first corridor with the main entrance was right up here. And so all the common areas were up above that, or to the east of it. And then this is Area B. It's an O-shaped section at the south end of the building containing the residential quarters for the Christian brothers who taught at the school. This block includes a large kitchen and communal dining area, as well as the U-shaped double-loaded corridor lined with these small dormitory rooms. And then these spaces surround an internal courtyard. So the large sprawling building has metal framing with dark brick cladding, and these are the north and west elevations. And then the west elevation has doors that exit from each of the 4 corridors in the classroom area, Area C. However, there's no other fenestration. The Kansas City Public School District has several school buildings that have minimal or no fenestration, all of which were constructed after O'Hara High School. This is the west and the south elevations of Area C. On the left, and then on the right here is Area B, the residential dorms. Area B does have windows into each of the dormitory rooms, and this is the south and the west elevations. And then this is the again, the east and the south elevations, entrances to the mechanical areas. And then the east elevation, again, there's an entrance from the auditorium, and the auditorium is the only space that rises above the flat roof, but it is just because it's a larger, taller height space. Still no second story. And then you can see the parking lot, again, a contributing structure over on the right. And this is the main entrance on the north side of the building with the large metal canopy. And then the main entrance has aluminum glazed doors, and the library immediately adjacent to the main entrance has the only fenestration on the educational portion of the building. The fully glazed wall has aluminum frames, and they are historic. The interior has a mix of historic and non-historic finishes, including concrete block walls, VCT and carpet floors, and dropped ceilings. And this is the main entrance. And then the primary corridor through the building is quite wide. The corridors accessing the classrooms, Area C, are on the right. The classroom corridors are nearly identical with an aluminum clear story windows into the classrooms. dropped ceilings, and then metal partitions lined with metal lockers. The classrooms retain their basic rectangular configuration. There are some new finishes, although the partitions are intact. And the library has the wall of windows, carpeting, and acoustical tile ceilings. The communal dining area retains its historic function and volume of space, although the finishes have been updated. The gymnasium is also historic with some updates to the finishes. The auditorium retains its historic configuration and finishes. And the chapel as well with its historic configuration and finishes. Area B contains the residential quarters for the Christian Brothers, and they initially served as teachers at the school. And this is the community room with its historic fireplace and access to the internal courtyard. And the U-shaped corridor is lined with dormitory rooms, like this one, which they all have the built-in cabinets and then the small sink and vanity. Archbishop High School retains, O'Hara High School retains excellent integrity to communicate its architectural significance as a modern era high school that reflects the modern movement aesthetic as applied to school design. It is a departure from previous diocese schools and is more in keeping with contemporary public high schools and junior high schools. The interior is organized into distinct functional areas, as was common for modern era schools, and is an early example of a school building without windows. I hope you'll agree that it merits listing, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Fantastic. Ms. Consoloy, did I get that right, Consoloy?
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Consoloy, thank you so much. What a beautiful example of post-war modernist educational architecture. I like to start with the questions, and I'm sure we, all agree this highly merits inclusion on the National Register. But my question is actually pretty straightforward and simple. How well preserved? So one of the unique things about post-war modernist educational architecture for Catholic schools is that they often include living quarters and just private quarters for the staff, for people like the Christian Brothers or the Marianists or Sisters of St. Joseph, any number of examples around the city. How well preserved are the educational quarters in this instance? Have they been since converted, or do they hold still like original architectural semblance of what they were?
So all of the living quarters look exactly like that photo. There are some that are maybe some of the cabinetry is broken, or some of the carpeting there's some water infiltration in some areas, so there's some mold, but
they hadn't been converted when the classrooms and had those beautiful like floor to ceiling fireplaces, those brick fireplaces taken out. They all look like living quarters.
Yes, and there's really only that one space that has the fireplace, but it is still there. The kitchen is still looks like a kitchen, and all of those little rooms are there, and then all of the classrooms are intact. They hadn't been using the living quarters, maybe one or two people, up until within the past 10 years. I believe there had been somebody living there, but while the school was in use, but they haven't really done anything to those spaces.
Excellent. Well, I have no further questions. I think this is a wonderfully prepared presentation. Fellow commissioners, do you have any questions for Ms. Consoloy? Please raise your hand in the panelist menu, if you do.
I think Dr. Guth has.
Mr. Owens.
Hi, yes, I'm just curious about the inclusion of the parking lot. To me, I would never imagine listing a piece of concrete as part of a historic structure. And if it is part of the listing, I mean, are the lights there part of it? Are the parking stops part of it? I'm confused about that.
Yes, that is something that Missouri SHPO has been wanting us to include on nominations. Large features such as that, and so the lights. I'm not actually sure if that those are original, but the fact that there was a parking lot included, that parking lot was constructed as part of the original design of the original construction of the building. Missouri SHPO feels that is that's important to include in the nomination.
Okay, and in addition, and in the same vein, all the untouched land around the building, it's not something constructed, but it is something taken care of, and it's part of the property. And I would argue that the grass is more important than the parking lot. Is that open space somehow protected, or is it not part of this nomination?
It's included in the boundary, but it's not a separate resource in and of itself. Because, I mean, it is part of the design, but just as part of the whole, yeah.
Okay, just curious.
Very good. Dr. Guth.
You need to unmute. Oh,
Dr. Guth, yeah, Dr. Guth, you need to unmute yourself. There you go.
I am wondering why the nomination now. The building is vacant, correct, and has been vacant for many years.
Not many years. It was still in use as a high school 4 years ago.
Okay. What is, why now for the nomination?
Because it has been sold. They moved the program to another building, and so the diocese is selling the school. So a private developer has purchased it.
Okay, and so they're looking for historic tax credits?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Going once. Going twice. All right, sold. Now that there are no other questions, we'll offer if any member of the audience, of whom there is one, would like to testify, please raise your hand in the attendees participant menu at this time. Okay, seeing no hands raised, we will close the floor to further testimony and allow for an opportunity for discussion amongst the commission, or perhaps a motion that we would like to recommend the listing of this beautiful site to the National Register. Perhaps I can lean on Commissioner Owens to do his thing.
I'd be happy to. So
Very good. Commissioner, the floor is yours.
Pardon me, let's see. So in case number, or I guess there's not a case number here. I recommend that the board nominate the Archbishop O'Hare High School at 9001 James A. Reed Road to the National Register of Historic Places.
And then under criterion, was
Oh,
it
yes.
A, yes.
Yes, under
Yes.
criterion A, architecture.
Criterion C.
Very good. Motion has been made. Is there a second?
I know that I've recused myself, but it's criterion C, not criterion A.
Okay,
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Vice Chair Laughlin. Mr. Owens, do you accept that amendment?
I definitely, yes. And it's still architecture, but it's criterion C, right?
Okay, yes. Because A is social history. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So under criterion C, is there a second for this wonderful
So
nomination?
moved.
Commissioner Courtney? Oh, okay. Well, Commissioners Courtney and Commissioner Dr. Guth, both second. Is there any discussion on this motion? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to go roll right through. Commissioner Owens, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Commissioner Courtney, how do you vote, ma'am?
Aye.
Dr. Guth, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
And Commissioner Legge, how do you vote?
Aye.
Very good, and I as well vote aye, noting again that Vice Chair Laughlin is recused due to conflict from this case. This does pass by a vote of 5-0 for recommendation to Missouri SHPO. Very good. Ms. Consoloy, thank you so much for your presentation today.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Wolf, I think I have to go at, I think we had said probably about an hour for this meeting. Is that still right? I have to leave in about 15 minutes. Do we have time to hear one more?
We should, yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Do you have a preference?
Why don't have Emily go do St. John's?
Are
Okay.
you sure? Okay. In that case, Mr. Wolf, I'd like to call the Historic Register nomination for St. John's.
St. John Seminary. Yes, it's 2001 to 31 East 72nd Street. Emily Lynn Hosman with Rosen Preservation prepared the nomination and will be presenting today. Did you want me to run the PowerPoint, or did you want to?
I have it pulled up, and can you all hear me okay? I'm dealing with some audio issues, so.
Yes.
Perfect. I can run it real quick, that way. I'm sure we say.
That's fine.
But go ahead and share my screen.
No, actually, Miss Lynn Housen?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Housen, yes.
Linhausen. Ms. Linhausen, actually, first I need to swear you in. Can you please raise your right hand for the oath? Ms. Linhausen, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. Mr. Wolf, in the matter of this National Register nomination, is there a staff report to go over, or should we go straight through with the presentation?
We can go through it. Staff is recommending approval, but the preparer can give an overview of the nomination.
Very good. Ms. Linhausen, noting that the staff recommends approval and there is no staff, there is a staff report for the record, but no staff presentation. The floor is yours.
Make sure. Okay. Are y'all seeing the presentation or just the slides?
I think we're seeing the, yep, there we go.
The other one? Okay,
Yep.
so just the slide. Sorry, we're going
Yep.
two screens here. Okay. So as I'm sure you guessed, I'm Emily Lynn Hosman with Rosen Preservation. Today I'm presenting the St. John's High School and Seminary. This is an educational campus and it's located a few miles south. It encompasses 11.4 acres. It's a large site. It includes 11 resources, 7 of which are considered contributing and 4 are non-contributing. St. John's High School and Seminary is locally significant under criterion A in the area of education for its association with the parochial education system in Kansas City. When it opened in 1931, St. John's was a parochial secondary school for day and boarding students and was the only combined high school and seminary built in the city. In addition to offering high school education, St. John's also functioned as a minor seminary. The nominated property is currently vacant, but it retains excellent integrity and continues to convey its associations with the area and period of significance for which it's nominated. The period of significance, 1931 through 1965, spans the year of dedication of the first school term to 1965, the year the last contributing resource was constructed, completing the complex. Because the school was built for the Catholic Diocese of Kansas City, now Kansas City St. Joseph, criterion consideration A applies. However, the property still qualifies for the National Register because its significance is derived from its role within private educational history in Kansas City rather than its association with the church and religious doctrine. The St. John's High School and Seminary is located approximately 7 miles from the downtown loop, as shown here. The site. And then this is just an image of the current context, Highway 71, located roughly a third of a mile, very close in the Paseo to the west. The surrounding area is predominantly residential. It's a mix of mostly single-family dwellings, constructed in a variety of styles during the early 20th century. And this map illustrates the district boundary, so outlined here in red. Those resources annotated C, like the main building here, are contributing resources, while those in C are the non-contributing resources. All 4 buildings, so that's resources T through 5, as well as the grotto. Number 6 down here, a staff parking lot, number 7, and then the campus itself are all contributing. The non-contributing resources are some non-historic playgrounds, a large non-historic parking lot, with an athletic field that does not retain integrity. Okay, so this is the main building, so the main high school and seminary. And this was construction began in 1930 and was completed in 1931. So the school was dedicated. It opened for its first term that fall. This plan over here is from 1946, and it's associated with this dormitory addition completed by Shaughnessy, local architect. And it illustrates the different use areas of the building. So this was obviously the main chapel, a prominent feature of the building. Classrooms located here along this double-loaded corridor. Later dormitory, completed in 1948. And then the rear wing that you can't see in this image is a seminary, contained a library, gymnasium, etc. The building retains most of its historic materials and its historic plan with very few changes. Classrooms, again, located along the double-loaded corridor. Minor alterations in 1957 are the addition of wardrobes and dormitories, and some alterations to the bathrooms, but those are alterations that occurred within the period of significance. In 1984, minor alteration in the main office for ADA access also approved. And then these are just some of the key spaces on the interior. So the chapel, this is the gymnasium and auditorium. This is the main lobby when you come in through the main entrance, showing some double-loaded corridors off the side here. This is a typical classroom. See large transom and doors here. Historic windows remain throughout the building, as well as the extensive use of terrazzo. This is the Gethsemane Retreat House. This is the second building completed on the campus, and it was designed to harmonize with the main building through its brick. Some accents you can see here. This is the main entrance, a little overgrown, but it has a distinctive nameplate and arches mimicking the main building. It's a 2-story dormitory, which originally served as a retreat house for the clergy within the diocese, and it was later converted into dormitory housing following some programmatic changes on the campus. This retreat house also held activities such as women's groups, student retreats, and like the main building, it also retains excellent integrity. This is just a sampling of interior images. So the double-loaded corridor here that organizes each floor. Most of the historic plaster remains. This floor does have a dropped ceiling, but the historic plaster ceiling is still present above. Small, very Spartan guest rooms, retaining their historic plaster, ceilings, windows, etc. And then the historic bathrooms, which are located between guest rooms, all retaining their tile, plaster, windows, and other fixtures. This is the third building on the campus, the third constructed. It was completed in 1958. Shaughnessy was again the architect. The Sisters House is a dormitory which housed the nuns who staffed the school. Both the interior and exterior are very simple in design and material, reflecting their era of construction, as well as the philosophies of the inhabitants. This brick that you can kind of see here, this cross motif, is present on this elevation and the opposite, and that's the only exterior ornamentation. And again, the interior rooms, very Spartan, very simple, but it retains these simple materials as well as its historic plan. And this is the final building completed on the campus. This is the 1965 gym, and it was constructed by RDM Construction. There is the main entry vestibule here, low slope of the roof. There's a T-shaped racquetball court. It's not pictured, that extends from the opposite elevation. And then the interior is primarily taken up by this large playing court, which has these regularly spaced tapered web beams all across the ceiling, It's illuminated by skylights and the historic clerestory windows here. Like the other buildings on the campus, the gym does not appear to have any significant alterations, and it retains its historic and character-defining volume, open plan, and historic materials. And then these are just a couple images of the final contributing resources on the campus. So there's the campus site itself, which is, again, this overarching area. The grotto, number 6 on the map in this image here. This is likely contemporary to the gym based on historic aerials and its close proximity to the gym. And then there is this parking lot, which is number 7 here on the map. This was likely 1962, between 1962 and 1969. But we do know this drive was here before. St. John's High School and Seminary is locally significant under criterion A in the area of education. The Diocese of Kansas City constructed St. John's High School and Seminary to provide a formal building in which to conduct seminary training, as well as to provide parochial secondary education to area students. St. John's offered a high school and college level program and was also the first formal Catholic seminary in Kansas City. And it remained the only formal Catholic seminary in Kansas City for 52 years until classes were terminated in 1983. Criterion considered A applies to St. John's, as it was constructed and owned by the Catholic Diocese of Kansas City. However, it still qualifies for listing because it derives significance from its role within private education in Kansas City, not from its association with the church and diocese. The campus retains integrity and clearly communicates historic associations with parochial education in Kansas City. Period of significance is 1931 through 1965, capturing the year of dedication and first school term, 1931, through the construction date, 1965, of the last contributing resource on the campus. We believe that this district, St. John's High School and Seminary, merits listing in the National Register of Historic Places, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your presentation. I'll start. I have a question for you, Ms. Leinhausen. I said that right, Leinhausen, right?
Leinhausen. Close enough.
Leinhausen. God.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Leinhausen, I actually do have a question. I was a little bit shocked to see that this building was where it is, and that it is still intact and extant. Is it your opinion that this is preserved well enough for inclusion?
Oh, yes, very much so. It I wish I could have included more pictures. There were so many. But yes, it very much, I just see no really discernible changes in plan. The materials are surprisingly intact. Off the terrazzo, the historic windows are extant in all buildings throughout the entire building. Historic plans are in place. I think it's a remarkably preserved building, given its long-term use into even recently as a charter school.
Okay, so Pathway is no longer there.
No, yes, the building is currently vacant.
Okay, when did Pathway close?
Pathway's closed, was that 2019? Very recently.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
noted as last year, so recently.
It's on one of these
That's-
other.
That's really too
Notes.
bad. All right, thank you very much. I see Dr. Guth, and then I see Commissioner Owens. Dr. Guth.
You're still on mute.
I want to comment that I thoroughly enjoyed reading the history of the Catholic education in particular in Kansas City, and that context that you gave it really made this building shine for me, or stand out. That goes somewhat also for Archbishop O'Hare, but here I see the strength of the emergence of this as a seminary in particular, and I applaud the way you wrote the nomination.
Thank you
I
very much.
absolutely concur, and I'll say, I know most people on the commission know this, but I started my career as a teacher at Bishop Ward in Kansas City, Kansas, and this building is just so beautiful, and it's from relatively the same era. Ward opened in 1933 as Ward, and before that it was Catholic High School, starting in 08. And this building just is so similar to so many of the things that I see in a place where I spent my first 4 years teaching. And I just have to say, Ms. Lindhausen, this is an absolutely wonderful application. Commissioner Owens.
I think it's a great nomination as well, and a very interesting property. Just a curious question. I noticed that the grotto is empty. Is it missing a statue of Mary, or do we know anything about that?
I didn't find any images of what particular statue was involved there, but given my experience with Catholic educational facilities, it would have been a statue of Mary typical there. They did have, it was possible that they would have had another saint, but I would almost guarantee that Mary would have been there. Yes, typically there's statuary, and I don't know when the statue was removed or exactly what that statue looked like.
Okay, thanks.
And oftentimes they also are, as any of us who have experience with Catholic education know, they are also like maybe perhaps the patron saint or the particular version of Mary, right? Like ours at Ward was the Mary of the New World, and yeah, so I also noticed that too. But I mean, if that's gone, it's safe to say, Ms. Lindhausen, it's long gone, right?
I would assume so.
Very good. Other questions for the applicant? I see Commissioner Owens now. Dr. Guth and Commissioner Owens, your hands are still raised. I have Commissioner Legge. Dr. Guth, do you have another question? Okay, no. Commissioner Legge, the floor is yours.
I just have a curious question as well. Who currently owns the building and what are the future plans, if any, for it?
The current owner is Frontier Inc., I believe. I'm not sure of all the future plans, to be honest. I think possibly return to educational facilities, but I'm not sure what all of their plans are.
Is this the same Frontier that runs Frontier School of Excellence and Frontier School of Innovation?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Very good. Other questions? Going once? Okay. We'll go ahead and close the floor into further questioning for the applicant and allow for any members of the audience, of which there is one, and I do not know that she probably has a question, but if there's a member of the audience who would like to testify at this time, please raise your hand in the attendees panel. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. Noting that there are no members of the audience who would like to testify, we'll close the floor to further testimony on this fantastic application and ask if perhaps one of my fellow commissioners would like to, if there's no comment or discussion, as a commission, propose that we recommend listing on the National Register to the State Historic Preservation Office.
I so propose. I suppose that in the case of St. John Seminary, located at 2001-31 East 72nd Street, we forward the nomination to the National Historic Register to the CHOPO's office.
Very good. The motion has been made by Dr. Walter Guth, fellow commissioner, yes, thank you, Dr. Guth. Yes, very good catch. To include this wonderful site on the National Register as our formal recommendation of this nomination to Missouri SHPO under criterion A for education. And I see Commissioner Owens, were you going to second that?
I'll provide a second. I was just going to add the criterion A.
Okay, very good. All right, motion has been made by Dr. Guth and seconded by Commissioner Owens. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none, we will go on ahead and we will allow for a roll call vote. I'm going to start right down the line of who I see first, and that starts with Commissioner Owens. How do you vote, sir?
Aye.
All right, Dr. Guth, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Well, Vice Chair Laughlin, you are recused. So Commissioner Courtney, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Commissioner Legge, how do you vote?
Aye.
Excellent. I also vote aye. That means that by a vote of 5-0, this does pass, and we will formally recommend inclusion of this wonderful site on the National Register of Historic Places. Ms. Lindhausen?
Yes.
Very good. Like 8th time is the charm. Excellent. Thank you so much for all of your hard work on this. Yes, and have a most wonderful day. Mr. Wolf, we're gonna lose me as a member now, and I think that means that we have to call it
Yes.
for the day. And I am so sorry, but I'm free almost anytime tomorrow to do this again, or anytime next week.
So I can go ahead and schedule it for October. We can actually, if we need to do a special meeting, we can do one in early November too, before the actual
Okay.
state meeting. So we'll just kind of plan it that way for now.
Perfect. Fellow commissioners, again, I profusely apologize. I had this on my calendar for tomorrow, and I am just like, I'm booked all kinds of ways to Sunday, both, metaphorically and literally. So unless there is any new business for the good of the commission, I would love to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Lake, thank you so much. Is there a second?
Second.
Can I second that?
both Vice Chair Laughlin and Dr. Guth second. As always, I miss you all very much, and I hope you are well and safe, and I'll see you very soon.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
When you say October meeting, you just mean like our regular scheduled meeting at the end of the month?
Yeah, I know you might very well not be there, so I wasn't necessarily planning on that. So it might be a special November meeting. So
Yeah, I'm having a C-section Tuesday, so I should be back. I mean, my plan is to be on the call at the end of the month, so.
Yeah.
Unless.
I know,
something
I was
crazy-
just kind of being cautious because.
Okay.
Good
Hopefully it'll
luck.
be
Very good.
straightforward. So,
So I hope it goes
All
well.
right.
So,
thanks.
Well, we are
Good.
yes. Good luck, and we are
Good luck,
we are
sir.
obligated by I think our own procedure for me to call a voice call vote. So all those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
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 think
I
we're good.
count 5, and I am aye as well. That's 6-0. Mr. Wolf, again, for everything you do, thank you so much. And to my fellow commissioners, the same. Be well, be safe, and I will see you all no more than, 3.5 weeks from now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, y'all. Bye.